Welcome to the bold analysis. Just this evening at around 7 p.m., a contingent of police officers raided Uhuru Kenyatta's eldest son home in Karen, and according to report, police officers reportedly raided the house of former President Uhuru Kenyatta's eldest son in Karen, Nairobi. Uhuru was at the home and expressed his dissatisfaction with the government's move to go after his family. Is it a crime to associate with Raila? He asked. I handed over power in peace, as I was supposed to do. I leave this incident to the law. What do you want with my children? They removed their security, now they want to reduce their personal weapons. Do whatever you want to do, but do not harm my mother. If these are illegal weapons, then tell the world, but they are licensed, so what is the issue? Uhuru asked. The former head of state emphasized that he will protect his family even if the current regime withdraws all their security. I am not demanding any security from them. If they want to recall them all, let them do so. And Uhuru Kenyatta was at the place. I have listened to his speech, the press briefing while addressing journalists. The fact that he was at the home also shows that probably they had received intel about the plan to raid the son's home. Truth be told, Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila differed for nearly 5 years. And during the difference, Raila Odinga protested against Uhuru Kenyatta's regime for quite so long. But not at any instant did we hear of the family of Raila Odinga being raided by Uhuru Kenyatta. And is it a case of Ruto regime, of course, now trying to take their might that we are of difference? And Uhuru has challenged that while instead of vitriol and targeting individuals, William Ruto should do the decent thing and address the concerns that Kenyans are raising. And while responding to journalists, he is actually saying that it is not a crime to associate with Raila Odinga. Now, why would the security forces raid the home of former president, the son of former president, allegedly looking for guns? And Uhuru is saying the security details had been withdrawn or sized down. Of course, that has affected their mobility. Then they are allegedly going to search for weapons. How do police know that there are weapons being stored somewhere? And if weapons are to be stored, if weapons are to be moved, I tend to believe that the country has very vigilant intelligence to intercept such a move. So the question that at this point I would want to ask, is it really looking for weapons? I will want to ask that question. Kindly, can you respond to that question? Was the home raided looking for weapons? And if they have the personal weapons, this son and the family is not moving. They are stationed there. The family of Uhuru Kenyatta is not. And let's just reason. If Uhuru Kenyatta was to engage in some sort of supporting violence, supporting Azimio protest, do you think he would engage the son? Let's try to imagine that he's having some guns. Do you think the son would be the ideal person to give the guns custody? You know. And how creative, don't even the framers of such become creative? When the home of CS Matiang'i was attacked, it was the same story of guns. Let me take you back. When Wanjigi's home was also raided in 2017, it was the same story about guns. Now, government has always been looking for stray guns. Hey, I'm telling you. Government has always been looking for stray guns. And you wonder, they can't be creative. There are some few intentions about that raid. I'm one person that is not buying the gun story. You know, in politics, sometimes it's not what you are told. For you to get a better understanding, you need to know what is it that is not being said here. There is something that is not being said. Police are looking for Raila Odinga. Take that to bank. Take that to bank. I don't think the raid on Uhuru's son home in Karen has nothing to do with the gun. The gun story is a decoy. Police are looking for Raila Odinga. Raila Odinga is still remains at large. And maybe they thought that maybe he's there. That's my understanding. Could be they're looking for Raila Odinga in that place. And would Raila Odinga go to stay with Uhuru's son? You know, that's number one. Then the second thing, I think it was a plan to provoke Uhuru Kenyatta so that he could make that public appearance. Because and probably they are going to achieve it, because Uhuru has come out and has responded. During the day, there was a narrative that was being floated here that Uhuru flew to Mombasa. You know, that's what we were told, that Uhuru flew to Mombasa, the mother flew to Dubai. I don't know, Raila is also somewhere in Malindi. And so they just wanted it. That attack was, that raid was choreographed to provoke Uhuru Kenyatta so that he can come out. Number one, they would know where he is, or because he's already gone there, they're going to trail him. Where is he going to stay? But they know where he is. That's one thing. Why they were going after Uhuru Kenyatta, to provoke. And that provocation, when it comes out and makes a statement in defense of the family, it will construct another narrative tomorrow. Because, you know, in politics, things don't just happen. Just the other day, I remember there were UDL leaders who said that because Uhuru is funding protests in the streets, they are also going to organize Kenyans to go and protest in Uhuru's homes. Could it be it? So because Uhuru has come out protecting his family and he has said there passionately that as a president, I protected the country. But as the fourth president and a retired one, I am going to protect my family. They wanted to get a soundbite from Uhuru Kenyatta so that tomorrow there is going to be how the narrative is going to develop, and is going to be asked questions. So you are protecting your family, who is going to protect other children? You are protecting your children with guns, who is going to protect other Kenyans? It is just creation of a narrative. Then the third aspect about that raid could be that if it was not handled well, maybe some exhibit would have been planted there. You never know. Yes. What stops them from taking those guns from them and even planting some exhibits and create that strong narrative that Uhuru Kenyatta is funding protest? If there is something that the UDA side are trying to justify, is that narrative that Uhuru is funding protests. And they're trying any other way and any other thing that they can do to substantiate that narrative. And were it not even for the presence of the former president there, the whole situation would have been different. Maybe some gun would have been planted there, and before you know, Uhuru Kenyatta is the center of it. So what is really the beef between Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto? It is not about political fallout. What has always been done, and those are around power have always said that Uhuru is unhappy that Ruto is the president. Is it just a mere fact that someone is unhappy? Is it really? Is it the issue of unhappiness? That is one thing that has always been constructed. But the beef with Uhuru Kenyatta, between Uhuru Kenyatta and Ruto is, Ruto knows very well that with Uhuru Kenyatta still in the limelight, he's going to have a strong opponent. And the plan is to crush Uhuru Kenyatta so that he can crush any 2027 opponent. The need to crush 2027 opponent is there simply because the ground is very slippery. What is the difference between the raid on Uhuru Kenyatta's home to the raid at the Northland City, to the threat of a raid in the home of Mama Ngina? Now they've gone after home of Uhuru Kenyatta's son. How about Mama Ngina? How about Uhuru? And Uhuru is saying, come for me instead of coming after my family. I think we're going to have a long night. The point here is very clear. They have tried arresting so and so. Now Uhuru Kenyatta's son. Who is next? Is it going to be Winnie? Or is it going to be Raila's home? I think we need to be very objective. If we are pursuing Uhuru Kenyatta has, I think, is in public servant with everything. So if you need to get him, I don't think he's away. William Ruto can get Uhuru Kenyatta by a phone call. And Uhuru has said very clear that Ruto has not shown any intent of talking to him, and just not interested in talking to someone who doesn't want to talk to him, and is disassociating. Probably I see those who are mocking that Uhuru is going through what he's going through because he didn't allow Raila Odinga, he didn't hand over power to Raila Odinga. Impunity is impunity. Even Uhuru fell out with Ruto. But at no point did Uhuru send police to the home of Ruto's son, or Ruto's daughter, or Ruto's mother. He didn't get into that. This one, I think, there is no difference between this raid and the good Kenyans that are being shot in the street.